Well, there's that, one of my staff members said, remember the famous song, Good Morning Vietnam? Well, good evening Vietnam. Good morning back in America. Before I begin, I want to express my sadness by the loss of life and devastation caused by the earthquake in Morocco. Our thoughts and prayers with the people of Morocco and my friend King Mohammed VI, I should say, and my administration, including Secretary of State Blinken, who's here with me today, is working with Moroccan officials on long distance here. We're working expeditiously to ensure American citizens in Morocco are safe, standing ready to provide any necessary assistance to the Moroccan people as well. Turn that off. Now, turning to the important visit here in Vietnam. As General Secretary and I just shared
Why are we so
earlier
concerned
today,
about Morocco?
this trip has
Hawaii
been an
is
historic moment. Today, we can trace 50-year arc of progress in the relationship between our nations from conflict to normalization. This is a new elevated status that will be a force for prosperity and security in one of the most consequential regions in the world. We've elevated our cooperation directly to the Vietnamese highest tier of partnership, referred to as the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. That means the United States has strengthened our ties with another critical Indo-Pacific partner. Our progress today builds on Camp David Trilateral with Japan and Republic of Korea and the United States. Comprehensive Strategic Partnership the United States launched with ASEAN last year, and the engagement with the Pacific Island Forum. Our strengthened alliances with the Philippines and AUKUS partnership with Australia and the United Kingdom, our elevated Quad engagement with India, Australia, and Japan, and the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity. And all the effort we've advanced from day one of my administration to demonstrate to our Indo-Pacific partners and to the world, the United States is a Pacific nation, and we're not
The United
going
States
anywhere.
is a Pacific nation.
Now let me also speak to significant business we got done in India.
What the fuck does that even mean?
This was an important moment for the United States to demonstrate our global leadership and our commitment to solving the challenges that matter most to people around the world. Investing in inclusive growth and sustainable development, addressing the climate crisis, strengthening food security and education, advancing global health and health security. We showed up ready to work, and we showed the world the United States is a partner with a positive vision for our shared future. At the G20, we made progress on issues like multilateral development bank reform for those nations that are neither poor nor wealthy but couldn't qualify before, debt relief, and increased infrastructure needs, not only in the global south but other parts of the world as well. We forged a groundbreaking new partnership that will connect India to Europe with the Middle East and Israel, with transportation by rail and by shipment through and energy supplies and digital connections that are going to open up untold opportunities for transformative economic investment on that entire corridor. We've also discussed Russia's brutal and illegal war in Ukraine. There was sufficient agreement in the room on the need for a just and lasting peace that upholds the principles of the UN Charter and respects sovereignty and territorial integrity. I want to once again thank Prime Minister Modi for his leadership and his hospitality in hosting the G20.
Yeah, and delivering a
He
child
and I have
for you
had
to
substantial
sniff.
discussions about how we're going to continue to strengthen the partnership between India and the United States, building on the Prime Minister's visit to the White House last June. And as I always do, I raised the importance of respecting human rights and the vital role the civil society and the free press have in building a strong and prosperous country with Mr. Modi. And we've gotten a lot of important work done, and I'm looking forward to another good day tomorrow here. Now I will take your questions.
Uh-oh, question time.
Let me see, they told me they gave me 5 people here.
They gave me 5 people here.
Nandita of Reuters.
Thank you for taking my question, Mr. President.
There you are. Good to
Hi.
see you. Sorry.
Hi. Last week, China questioned the quote sincerity of the Biden administration.
I'm sorry, the what? The Biden.
Of the Biden administration, and accused the United States of containing China while pushing for diplomatic talks. How would you respond to that? And do you think President Xi is being sincere about getting the relationship back on track as he bans Apple in China?
Well, look, first of all, I am sincere about getting the relationship right. And one of the things that is going on now is China's beginning to change some of the rules of the game in terms of trade and other issues. And so one of the things we talked about, for example, is that we're now talking about making sure that no Chinese government can use a Western cell phone, those kinds of things. And so really what this trip is about, it was less about containing China. I don't want to contain China. I just want to make sure we have a relationship with China that is on the up and up, squared away. Everybody knows what it's all about. And one of the ways you do that is you make sure that we are talking about the same things. And I think that one of the things we've done, I've tried to do, and I've talked with a number of our staff about this for the last, 6 months, is we have an opportunity to strengthen alliances around the world to maintain stability. That's what this trip is all about.
Yeah.
Having India cooperate much more with the United States, be closer to the United States, Vietnam being closer to the United States, it's not about containing China. It's about having a stable base in Indo-Pacific. And for example, when I was spending a lot of time talking with President Xi, he asked why was I going to have the Quad, meaning Australia, India, Japan, the United States. And I said to maintain stability. It's not about isolating China. It's about making sure the rules of the road, everything from
Yeah, we wouldn't want to say anything bad about China.
Space and
Not
the
about,
ocean
you
and
know.
the international rules of the road are part of that. And so, and I hope that, I think that Prime Minister Xi has some difficulties right now. All countries end up with difficulties. And he has some economic difficulties he's working his way through. I want to see China succeed economically. I want to see him succeed by the rules.
Yeah, we want to see him succeed. We want China to succeed.
Of
course we do.
Next question was to Bloomberg.
Bloomberg, liberal rag.
Mr. President, following up on your comments on China and the economy, you recently called China's economy a ticking time bomb. Do you believe the country's slowdown could risk destabilizing the global economy or causing China to be more aggressive defensively?
Say the first part of your question again.
What did you say? He didn't even know the question.
Do you believe the country's slowdown and growth could risk destabilizing the global economy or cause China to be more aggressive defensively, including with Taiwan? And separately, sir, are you worried about the meeting between President Putin and Kim Jong-un, if that could mean Russia has more gains in the war in Ukraine?
Look, I think China has a difficult economic problem right now for a whole range of reasons that relate to international growth and lack thereof, and the policies that China has followed. And so I don't think it's going to cause China to invade Taiwan. As a matter of fact, the opposite, probably doesn't have the same capacity that it had before. But as I said, we're not looking to hurt China, sincerely. We're all better off if China does well. China does well by the international rules, grows the economy. But they have had some real difficulty in terms of their economy of late, particularly in real estate, side of that end of the bargain. And I think the actions that they're going to have to take are ones that they're in the process of deciding right now. And I'm not going to predict what way will come out, but we're not looking to decouple from China. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sell China material that would enhance their capacity to make more nuclear weapons, to engage in defense activities that are contrary to what is viewed as most people think is a positive development in the region. And but we're not trying to hurt China. Okay. BBC, War. Am I correct? Is that correct, Laura?
It is. My name is Laura Bicker from BBC News. Good evening, Mr. President.
Good
How are
evening.
you?
Well, thank you.
Good.
These 5-day trips around the world are no problem.
I can imagine. It is evening, I'd like to remind you. I mean, in the last 6 months, you've signed pacts and deals with Japan, South Korea, Philippines, Australia, and even the Pacific Islands. You're here standing in Beijing's backyard. Now, China says this is part of your Cold War mentality. Are they right, sir? Are they right, Mr. President? Is there a danger of a Cold War? And when will you meet Mr. Xi?
Well, I hope I get to see Mr. Xi sooner than later. I've spent more time than any other world leader has, sum total, over the last 12 years. So I hope we get to see him again soon. But, no, look, for example, one of the things we did in India, we provided for a new path that's going to save everybody money, increase the global South's capacity to grow by sending. We're going to have a new railroad from India all the way across to the Mediterranean, the shipping lanes and pipelines to across the Mediterranean through Europe up into Great Britain and beyond. That's all about economic growth. It has nothing to do with hurting China, helping China. It has to do with dealing with everything from climate change to making sure that these countries can succeed economically and grow. Look, my thesis has been from the beginning, both domestically and in terms of foreign policy, invest in your people. Invest in the people. Give them a chance. Everything's better off when people, I know it's going to sound trite, if everybody in the world had a job they got up in the morning and wanted to go to and thought they could put 3 squares on the table for their family no matter where they live, the whole world would be better off. It would be a lot better.
Hey, D, what's going
That's
on, man?
the notion here.
Good to have you in the house.
For example, one of the things we're doing in terms of, I proposed a long time ago at the G7, now it's going to come to fruition at the G20.
Well, he's just
making
sucking up
sure
to
that
China
we build
over here, man.
A railroad all the way across the African
China?
continent.
No.
Think about it. There is no
Think about
way
it, man.
to cross the African continent by road, by rail,
But-
and there's not even a direct highway across. Now let's assume, for the sake of discussion, we talk about food shortages. Assume there was one country in that vast continent that had an excess of foodstuffs and resources. How would they get it to where they're going to go? How are they going to do it? That's why we're also going to invest
Him and his
billions of
son and his
dollars
family, no
in
better than the mob.
Solar facilities in Angola have the largest solar facility in the world, or one of the largest. That helps Angola, but also helps the whole region. So I think we think too.
Yeah, especially the children
much in
mining
terms
all the
of Cold
minerals
War
and shit.
terms. It's not about that.
Oh,
It's
no.
about generating economic growth and stability in all parts of the world. And that's what we're trying to do. Sorry.
Who's next on my list?
Okay.
Who else did they tell me to call on?
I pronounce it Pavilia?
What's your name? Pavilia?
I pronounce the name
Am I
correctly?
pronouncing that correctly? What an
There
idiot.
you are.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank
It's
you.
Aurelia and for AFP. I had a question on the climate crisis. You just mentioned the G20. Just this week, the United States warned that if there is no phasing out of fossil fuels, it won't be possible to reach the goals of the Paris Agreement. There was no agreement at the G20 on fossil fuels. How concerned are you about this lack of consensus?
It wasn't so much an agreement that
He's
we
being
would try to meet the goals of
mobile.
G20. The United States is going to meet those goals, by the way. We're going to exceed those
You see the
goals.
camera?
A lot of other countries are as well.
Just
But we
wandered
want to
off.
give those countries that don't have the economic wherewithal and did not cause the problem in the first place. For example, I met with Lula in Brazil. I started off way back in the 80s.
Oh, no, here he goes
with,
telling stories.
A really fine Republican senator named Dick Lugar. We said, here's what we're going to do.
He's off
If
he's
you
off
owe
prompter,
us
man.
money,
Holy shit.
we're going to forgive your debt if you maintain your forest, because they become carbon sinks. They're the things that take carbon out of the air.
Somebody's got to
And
fact
so
check
we're
this.
talking to what we should be and the countries that cleared their land and put cattle on it and farming and did all the things that increased development. They, in fact, are the main reason why we've gotten as far down the road to disaster here as we have. And so it seems that if we have the economic capacity, those nations, should be getting together and providing help for the nations that don't have the wherewithal to do it. The economic wherewithal, the infrastructure wherewithal. And that's why, for
You
example,
mean more
I mentioned,
transfer of wealth.
in the interest of time, I just
Redistribution.
mentioned Angola again. Angola has the capacity to generate megawatts of energy through
Yeah, Angola
solar
has
energy.
the ability
They
to
don't have
probably
the
line your fucking
economic means
pockets
to
with
do that.
cash.
Isn't it in the interest of the whole world if they're in fact able to generate significant capacity to absorb, to prevent carbon from being released in the air? I think it is.
Wait a minute.
What we're trying to do
Hang on, I gotta find my
is help
button.
those nations, particularly
You're
in
not
the
saying that
global
he's
south,
a
where they're not as wealthy, where they're not
Let
as
me do
many
that again.
opportunities.
You're not
to be
saying he's
able
a
to deal with
holster.
things that
Are you?
they want to
There, I
do.
think I got it right the
For
second time.
example, and I'll end with this, there is more carbon absorbed from the atmosphere on a daily basis, and I'll look to my friend John Kerry, who's forgotten more about this than most people know. Correct me if I get this wrong, John.
Oh yeah, we will
I'm
correct
quite
you.
sure I'm right.
Uh-huh.
And that is that there's more carbon observed from the air into the Amazon region, into the ground, than admitted in the entire United States on the same basis.
What?
Now imagine if people go in and do what we did
What the fuck did he just say?
150, 250 years ago, and cut down the forest and start farming in that area. No longer have that great carbon sink. It would be a gigantic problem. So we should be going to areas, whether it's in the Congo or other places, as the G7 nations and as the wealthy G20 nations, and providing the kind of infrastructure they need to be able to benefit. And guess what? In addition
You're gonna
to
provide
helping
the
the environment
infrastructure.
overall, and the only existential threat humanity faces, even more frightening than a nuclear war,
Is global
is
warming.
global warming going
Right.
above 1.5
Because of course a
degrees in the
nuclear
next
war
20
wouldn't warm up the
years.
world at all.
And we're in real trouble. There's no way back from
God.
it. And so,
Oh, you
there's a lot we
fucking
can do in the
demagogic,
meantime.
fear-mongering
For example,
bastards.
that pipeline, that railroad we're talking about going across from India throughout the Middle East and across the Mediterranean and all through Europe. That's going to have hydrogen pipeline there. This is going to significantly reduce the amount of carbon emitted in the air, but it costs a lot of money to put that down.
Yeah.
And the world's
Well,
going
it's
to
a lot
say
of
it's
money.
in our
Costs a
interest,
lot of money.
collective interest to do it.
We gotta help them.
So I have not.
We
have
gotta
not
dig
given
deep
up
in
at
our
all on the
pockets,
notion
boys and
that
girls,
We're going
Americans.
to be able to,
to help the
how can
Congo.
I say it? I think we can triple the renewable capacity for as it relates to global warming by the year 2030. Countries following the IRA playbook, which is the one we passed, clean energy jobs are going to create manufacturing jobs. For example,
Manufacturing.
the consequence of what
What's a
we've done,
manufacturing job anyway?
we have
Manufacturing.
we have the strongest economy
Can
in
you
the
spell
world
that
today.
for me?
Right now, today, the United States of America has the
Manu.
strongest economy in the world.
World.
In the world.
In the world.
Now, we've got more
Idiot.
to do, but we have the strongest economy
He's
in
gonna
the
start
world.
whispering in the mic
And
again
one of the
soon.
reasons we're doing, we changed the mechanism.
In
how
the
we do
world.
this. And that is, instead of trickle-down economy, that is, if the wealthy and the corporations do very well, everybody's going to do well. Well, the truth of the matter is, I've never bought that theory, but I think the times have changed, and a lot of leading economists are beginning to agree with me.
Yeah,
Just
totally.
flat, straight-out academic economists.
Uh-huh.
And that is, we should build
From the
economic growth
bottom up
from the middle
and the
out.
middle out.
From the bottom up.
Bottom up.
And that
Right up
happens,
your bottom.
everybody does
Is that what he
well.
said?
Everybody does well. The wealthy still do
Everybody
very,
does
very
well.
well.
Don't you feel like we're all
No
doing so
problem.
well, boys and
You'll
girls?
still be a billionaire
Yeah.
under that system as well.
Yeah.
But you're going to start paying your taxes.
Yeah, you can start
That's a
paying them
different issue.
taxes, buddy.
But all kidding aside, so we have, I think the other thing is dawning on people, many of you are foreign policy experts who've been engaged for a long time. Did you ever think you'd be sitting at a G20 conference where everyone was preoccupied with the notion of global warming?
Wow.
Not a
Did
joke.
you ever think of it?
that?
They're all preoccupied
And
with
there's
global warming.
my
you ever
brother
think of it?
loves having those famous
We've
lines
actually
in movies,
reimagined the
always
world.
quotes. You know, and one of them is there's a movie about John Wayne. He's an Indian scout. And
Oh, he's talking about John
I
Wayne
think
now.
it was Apache, one of the
Indian
great
scouts,
tribes of America,
tribes,
back on the reservation. And he's
reservations.
standing with the Union, so he's all armed. They're on their horses and their saddles.
Horses, saddles.
And there's 3 or 4 Indians in headdresses.
Headdresses.
And the Union soldiers.
Union
The Union
soldiers.
soldiers basically saying to the Indians, come with me, we'll take care of you, everything will be good. And the Indian looks at John Wayne and points to the Union soldier and says, he's a lion, dog-faced pony soldier.
Oh no, he told the lion, dog-faced pony soldier fucking story.
About global warming. But not anymore. All of a sudden, we're realizing it's a problem. And there's nothing like
It's a
seeing the
problem.
light.
I told you, he started whispering.
And, let's
Sorry.
see. I'm just following my orders here.
Just following my orders here. They put him back on prompter. They told him, get the fuck back on prompter. Oh my God, he told the lion. If you're just joining us,
Staff, is anybody haven't spoken?
he just told the
I ain't
lion,
calling on you.
dog,
I'm calling on- I
face,
said there are 5
pony
questions.
soldier story.
Anita, VOA.
Thank you, Mr. President. I
What a
hope you didn't
fool.
think that calling only on women would get you softballs tonight.
Oh, I know better than that.
Okay, well, let me start with President Xi.
If you send me a softball, I wouldn't know what to do with it. I'd probably strike out even worse.
Let me ask you about, you've spent lots of time talking about all the time you spent with President Xi and the importance of leader-to-leader communication.
Come on, bring a hard question.
Yet you two haven't spoken in 10 months.
10 months
And
you haven't spoken.
I just wonder, are you worried that this is destabilizing the U.S.-China relationship, and what are you going to do about it? And then, if I may, on Ukraine, sir?
Go ahead. Ask the question. Ask the question.
The G20 communique didn't name Russia as the aggressor. Have you managed to rally more support or sympathy across the G20, or is this emerging as a wedge issue with the Global South? And does that change your commitment?
He's never going to remember the two
It's not
questions
a wedge
together.
issue with Global South. It's a wedge issue with Russia, which is present, and with China, which is present, which has representation. And and by the way, I am, my team, my staff still meets with President Xi's people and his cabinet in effect. I met with his number 2 person here in India today. So it's not like there's a crisis if I don't personally speak to him. It'd be better if I did.
Uh-huh.
But I think, look,
Look,
this is not a criticism. It's an observation. He has his hands full right now. He has overwhelming unemployment with his youth.
oh, so
One
you're
of
not
the
talking
major
to him
economic
because you're
tenets
giving
of
him
his plan
space
isn't
to
working at
breathe?
all right now.
He's
I'm not
too
happy
busy?
about that, but it's not working. So he's trying to figure out, I suspect, I don't know,
What is this,
just
like
I
giving
would,
your girlfriend a
trying to
little
figure out what to
space?
do about the particular crisis we're having now. But I don't think it's a crisis relating to conflict between China and the United States.
No, there's no
As
conflict
a matter of
between
fact,
us.
I think it's less likely to cause that kind of conflict. I don't, anyway. I just think that there are other things on leaders' minds, and they respond to what's needed at the time. And look, nobody likes having celebrated international meetings if you don't know what you want at the meeting. If you don't have a game plan. He may have a game plan. He just hasn't shared it with me. But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
What did you talk about with Mr. Lee? You said you spoke to the number
Oh my
two
God, he
China
said, I'm going to go to
in India
bed.
today?
Yeah,
What
we
did you
talked.
talk about with him?
We talked
Why, are you
about, we
tired,
talked about
Mr.
at the
President?
conference overall. We
You not
talked
have the
about
energy?
Stability. We talked about making sure that the third world,
Can't say third world anymore.
The southern hemisphere had access to change. Had access. It wasn't confrontational at all.
No.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Yes, we got to go handle Joe. Joe's toddling now. We got to put him to bed. Turn the music up so we can't hear the questions. Turn the music up louder so they can't hear the
Every
questions.
person I met with.
Mr. President, are you worried about your son being indicted, Mr. President?
Oh, my God. They start blaring jazz music, guys. Oh, my God. Oh, God, a prostate exam from Edward Scissorhands. Jeez. Guys, man, I'm really glad I put that one on. But, boy, you're right, D. Shit, that was painful to watch. Clearly deteriorating, clearly. Babbling on and on and on. But, you know, clearly, as I said earlier, and we were talking about earlier, man, he is so clearly a puppet of the Chinese government, okay? The Chinese got their hooks in our government so bad. And I mean, him, first of all, him and his son and all this mess, right, that's going on. So, yeah, okay, so now you see a test pattern. That ain't no fun, so let's go over here. Yeah, man, it's good to see you. I don't know if you're still watching, but that was pathetic. See if you can find me something else to stream maybe so I can put on, because they're not going to want to put up with me too long. Every time you got to put your hand thing on. Yeah, okay, because I can tell the camera goes every time you smack the table. So, anyway, yeah, that was really pathetic, man. That was terrible. And hopefully we'll see some more ridiculous shit come out of the G20. But yeah, what did we hear? We heard global warming is the greatest existential threat to the world, including nuclear war. Now, Russia just deployed, like a week ago, the Satan II tactical nuclear weapon rig. I don't know, it's on a truck or some shit. I don't know what it is. Doesn't sound good, Satan II, right? They put that son of a bitch out on the battlefield. It's in service, right? And these fuckers, these communist, Marxist bastards, right? They are continuing to demagogue and fearmonger and tell you, look you dead in the fucking face and go, look, man, we need to keep shoveling money, resources, all this crap into the global warming agenda because that can kill you. And, you know, this whole global conflict thing and war, you know, that's okay. Don't worry about any of that shit. That's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about the nuclear war that's about to happen. Yeah. It's true. Yeah, man. It's true. Yeah, so anyway, if you're just joining us, like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification button if you would, because it's totally useless. I've been told that absolutely nobody is getting notified that I'm going live. But, you know, do it anyway, and it's the time to remind you, just check back with us, right? If you like the content that you find here, you're going to want to just check back, because you can't count on that thing to tell you that we're going live. And I don't know if how long we're going to live stream today. If there's something interesting. Is there anything interesting? I'm chatting. Oh, you're chatting. You can't. All right, I'm going to go see if I can't find something interesting and just talk to these people about the news in the meantime. And, yeah, I'll talk about the gun ban, right? Or let me see. I can pop up. Yeah, let's just put the live stream thing back up again. Like that. That's good. Oh, Corinne Jean-Pierre. Put her on. This can't be today, is it?
So that's where I'll certainly.
Well, temporarily, I'll put that on.
But look, we have seen, we've experienced increases in COVID-19
More tap
during
dancing
the
over
last
here. I don't know if this live.
that we're
No,
seeing
it's not
over
live. There's no press
this
briefing
long
today.
period, right? It's been a long period of
Well, I'll
time.
just take. What's taking me so long is I've got my wife who's like bothering me. All right, stop. Got it. I'm bobbing and weaving over here, guys. So we went out last night. We went out to dinner, right? And I promised that I'd tell you guys about it. We went out and had just the most lovely damn dinner. It was at a place called. Well, stop. Why is this coming up now? Every time I bring up YouTube, it's bringing up my echoes from the past thing. It has a mind of its own sometimes. Remember, I was doing the voiceover on that? I was trying to do the voiceover stuff of that. Okay. Let's go premium. Yeah, so we went out to dinner, and we had a locally served dinner at a place called Labyrinthia, which is a bed and breakfast kind of thing with a garden. And go to Facebook? Yep. Okay, you're going to log us in? Oh, wait. Okay.
X out of this shit.
X out of that shit.
Okay, go to search. Left.
Got it.
Type Dorigo Farm. D-I-R.
D-A-R-I-G-O.
Farm. Okay, Farms. Click that.
Which one? That one?
Down. No, right. There.
You see this window that's in my
Not
face?
that one. Oh, up one. Right there.
There.
Okay. Now wait. Shit. I can't leave my screen because I'm chatting. Go to posts. Scroll. Keep scrolling.
No, this is something else.
Well, this is the dinner. This
Mm.
is the thing for the dinner, but I don't know.
Well, that's not fun. I don't want to look at a menu. I mean, you know, the people are over here going, oh, you're going to show us pictures of your dinner and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to show them a menu. Come on. All right. I'm going to go back to finding a live stream, which is what I was trying to do before.
Fuck.
Right? And we can do that later. I don't know if you guys know, but my wife has functional retardedness or something like that, functional neurological retardedness or some disorder of that nature. And so it causes her to sometimes, when frustrated, utter the F word.
Isn't that most people? Come on.
No, not that many times, though. I hear it a lot of times. So let me see. Portland Andy's up. What's he doing? Let me see. We got Scott Adams up. There's nothing really going on at all live. So I might not stay on. I have to read books anyway. But, yeah, let me just go full screen again and real quick and just talk about the dinner last night. Because it was a lot of fun, man. And it was pretty cool. We're socially awkward. And what I mean by that is, I mean, look, I grew up and worked a professional career, traveled the world, three-piece suits. I can walk into a room of 300 people. I can talk to anybody. I have no confidence problem. As you can see, I'm gregarious. I'm outgoing. But but at 60 years old, I've seen too much of life. And I'm guarded. And I'm jaded. And I'm on a mission. I have a plan. I'm chiseled in what I'm doing. And so that makes it very difficult to walk out into the world and interact with other people because at this point these days, you don't know whether you're dealing with friend or foe. There's no in between anymore, right? It's not like you can just chat about some bullshit. You will step on a landmine if you talk about anything else except for how delightful this food is, right? Or the weather or the bugs or the sunset. And so nervous about going into a situation like that. But I had a feeling that we were supposed to go there to make connections, right? And so we did, and it turned out to be great. We sat at the right table. There was 3 tables. The food was delightful. We had scallops with prosciutto wrapped around them, and everything was like 5-star restaurant plating. They're foodies or gourmets. And so it was a nice local gathering out in central Maine under the, sunset and stars and all that shit. And I didn't get any bug bites, and neither did you. It was great. We loved it. We had so much fun. And it was good to get out. And Mama doesn't walk so good anymore, and so it's just difficult. I mean, I realized last night I'm old. The other table, there was a kiddie table. And I don't mean there was no kids there, but you know what I mean. There was a kiddie table to me. And we happened to sit with some people that just were like totally, man, if you've been watching my show, there was like nothing I told them they didn't already know. And they're like, oh yeah, man, everybody thinks we're crazy too. So I made some connections with some local people, right? And that was pretty neat. And I was happy about that. And they had the like mind, and they said that they wanted to, they felt the necessity that it's time soon to start really making these local connections with people, because we're going to start needing it in a physical sort of way soon. So I would encourage you to do the same, right? And again, I'll just wrap up that you got to be mentally prepared that this thing can and probably will go sideways, right? At least minimum, you got to get your brain to the point, just screw it. Don't be frustrated, please. So, and yes, it can happen, and at least it can happen. And more than not likely that it will. Then the second thing that you have to do is you have to be spiritually prepared. And you better get right with God, because at one point you're going to die, right? And so getting right with God involves Christ and your sin. And you go figure that out. And third, you got to be physically prepared. Because at least if you skip step 2, you got to do step 3 so that maybe you can get step 2 later before you die. Or you don't die before you accomplish step 2. You get it? Which is where step 1 comes in too. Be mentally prepared that it possibly can happen. Right? Oh, God, she's taking the mouse again. So, yeah, that's very important right now. And so it was good. Unfortunately, I had my phone with me, and I didn't get the lady's email address or send an email. But we know how to get in contact with these people. They're just a spit down the road. And yeah, it was good. It was good to get out. We spent time together in our own little bubble, me and Mama, and went on a kind of date night. And we also spent some time making some local connections and feeling like we're not alone in the world, in this feeling that, yeah, everything is totally shit upside down. And I fear right now, I think what I observed at the dinner was that you got your people that are, and I don't even know what the generations are, but they're just in
like 30s.
30s, right? I don't know what the hell generation that is. But girl pregnant. Well, one of them's pregnant with her first baby. The people that are serving the dinner, they just have a baby. It's like, I don't know, a year and a half old, something like that. It's starting to toddle, or I guess, I don't know. And we haven't been over there in a while and haven't seen her. But anyway, shout out to Dorigo Farms. They did just a magnificent job. So if they watch this video, God, you guys, it was beautiful. It was gorgeous. We were swept up in it. Fantastic. The whole thing. First class from start to finish. Yeah, the only thing is bug spray for some people next time would have been great to have on hand. But yeah, so everything was delicious. And but yeah, the people that are in their 30s, they're sucked up in their own lives, right? They are, in these some of these cases, the most joyous times of these people's lives. And so I can understand why they don't want to see me. Do you understand? They don't want to hear me. Okay? They don't want to hear harbingers, right? They kind of want to go, La 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 la. Things are really kind of going good. I mean, yeah, the eggs are expensive and the milk's expensive and everything's kind of shitty. But we're having a good time because they're surrounded in their life. See, my life is broken and has been broken, okay, and put back together, and it's just I'm scarred, right? There's a lot of stuff going on, battle hardened, right? But I also know what's going on and I see and I have the wisdom, and they don't have the wisdom yet, right? So how is it that these people will obtain supernatural wisdom? Supernaturally, right? That's what's going to happen. People are going to start to get their eyes opened, not as much intellectually. I think what's going to happen is spiritually. People are going to see the corrupt cancer that we've become. And it's starting to happen. And the people are pushing back in New York and all sorts of other places, parents and people in neighborhoods that don't want their neighborhoods destroyed, right? So anyway, it's good. So I think I'm done for the day. I think I'm going to log it. I think I'm going to copy it over and call it my show for the day. And go do some other stuff and maybe just consume some media. And who knows, like I said, check back. Who knows? We might go live later if something happens, pop off. It's Sunday night. Something may happen. I don't know. Or something interesting or a car chase comes on. We'll jump on too. So I love car chases. Anyway, that's it. Mama, you got anything? No. Okay, well, yeah, we'll be back later. I'll probably make a show anyway, so check back for that. And I'm True Slinger, and I am out.